That's right. Hey, folks, nuclear energy. You either are absolutely scared of it or you know that it is the future. I have my special guest here today, Mike Wandler, author of the best-selling book, Innovate Energy. I just heard him in San Diego at the Free Zone Summit share absolute gold. You're in for a treat. Hey, Mike, good to see you.
Gary, good to see you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, man. Listen, you've been in this company, I believe, not to misquote you, but is it something like 40 years?
Yeah, been working there 40 years. Yeah.
What has changed with popular culture and nuclear energy? Maybe it used to be the scariest thing. Today, it's the future. What's happened? Give us some thoughts.
Yeah, it was about 7 years ago, and nuclear energy has been around for 60 years. And my father-in-law was actually in nuclear energy, running nuclear power plants in Antarctica and the original microreactors. And it
Mm,
was so really a heyday up until the 70s. And then
mhm.
3 Mile Island happened, and competition happened, and we put it on hold and decided we weren't doing that. And there's been a lot of people I know that are in the industry, have been in the industry the whole time, and it just every time they thought they were going to get going, it would get killed.
Mm,
Now we have an energy boom in front of us. So we haven't doubled energy since the 70s. And now we need to double the amount of energy in the USA in the next 10 years.
mm,
And people want clean energy, they want clean and safe energy. And the only way to do that with baseload power is with nuclear energy. So
mm.
Peter Diamandis from Abundance 360 brought that to my attention, and he was always on wind and solar. And then one year he said, well, and then there's nuclear, and that's the only answer. And it's right. It's all of the above energy. We need it all, but adding nuclear and getting back into putting nuclear online and rebuilding all the nuclear power plants that are out there is critical to this. It's critical to national security. So I'm very interested in it from a manufacturing standpoint, from a national security standpoint, and
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
all of it.
And I'm here on your website. I mean, folks, what Mike's saying is mind-blowing. I mean, look at some of these huge, huge machines, and if you think those are big, he actually is in charge of hauling out the space shuttle. Just literally transporting that thing. Not only that, but diffusing the huge power that's coming out of the engines. You and I were chatting, my son was there, Keegan, and you were kind of explaining that unless the fire is pushed out to the ocean with these launches, everything would be melted. Maybe just share a little bit about some of what your company does.
Yeah, so L&H Industrial, the 62-year-old company, closely privately held. Uh, I'm the CEO of that. I'm one of the owners of it, and it's my life's work. So we work on the biggest machines on Earth, and mostly in mining. You see there on the screen, hydro now. But our fun thing we do is work for NASA, and we upgraded the NASA crawler transporter to move the space shuttle, the transporter that moved the space shuttles and all the rockets out to the launch pad at Kennedy. Now upgraded to move the Artemis out. You just saw the picture of it to the big flame trench.
Is it
And
this thing?
yeah, so that's a version of it. That one's for a shovel, but it's the same thing. There's 4 of those underneath there that haul it out to the launch pad. So we upgraded that to handle the weight of the SLS rocket, which we do all the time in mining. So that's why we were pulled in, and the team did an amazing job on it. So they just keep using us. So now, if you go to the left there, that flame trench, there's a picture of it right there. And
Should I go here?
yeah, right there. So that's the flame trench that was underneath that one there. That's underneath those rockets, and that flame goes down and hits that, and it deflects it and sends the heat and the flame out to the ocean that's coming off the bottom of that rocket as it lifts off the launch pad.
Gee.
So those are fun. So that flame trench is ours. The NASA crawler transporter is ours, and that one gives you context of what size of work that we work on. We work on big machines. So our vision is to transform the future by transforming the machines. And that's
Gee,
the focus of L&H and has been for 60 years. And the machines just keep getting bigger. The machines we work on keep getting larger and more important.
there's so many lessons here. I mean, I've known you for a bunch of years now, and it was cool to meet your son. Your other son and I texted this morning.
Nice.
Your family, you've been in this business, you've just done a tremendous thing. What is the vision though? Because I know all these huge machines, dirt, rockets, fire, and yet you have this incredible like core value,
Yeah.
and you believe your whole company runs on love,
Uh,
which some people think is like, what are we talking about? But give us the vision of where you're headed as a company.
Yeah, so our vision is to transform the future by transforming the machines, but the values are an incredible important piece of that. So do the right thing, make an impact, lead by example, and love people. The love people we added in about 5 years ago, and I was a little nervous about doing that because we're a bunch of gearheads. We're tradesmen that like to fix things and make things. So I didn't know how well it would land, but it landed very well, and we've people accepted it. People just want to be loved, and they want to love what they do. They want to love the people they work with, and that works. So the values are very important, and the mission and vision are very important too. It doesn't need to be sexy, but
Mhm.
true, and you need to scream it from the rooftops to attract the tribe that would love to do that and repel the tribe that would not, right? And that's whether it's employees or vendors or even
Mm.
customers. When you've arrived when you're applying your mission, vision, values to your customers as well. That kind of full circles it. So the ecosystem is a bunch of people that are like-minded, helping each other accomplish great things, whatever those great things are.
Mm. You and I are also into this thing flow, the optimal state of human performance.
Absolutely.
And you try to get people in your company to tap into flow. Not only will they feel better, not only will they have better lives and families, but they'll also perform better. So I know that was your first book
It
that really
was.
took a deep dive into that. I'll show that on the screen in a moment, but maybe you could explore a little bit about those things.
Yeah. So the flow, the first book, Know Thyself, Love Thyself, was really to encapsulate that. And I had an idea, and we were working on mental fitness, and I was working on getting myself into flow. And once you achieve flow, it's a great state, and you want to keep it. So
Mm,
I also wanted to show that to other people. So this book is really about Know Thyself, Love Thyself. You get yourself into mental fitness and resilience, because without that, you don't have a foundation. So this teaches you how to do that, foundationally important. Then you figure out what your unique abilities and your passions are, where those align. So that's kind of second step.
mhm,
Once you have that, so you've got mental fitness and resilience, and your unique abilities and passions, and you're aligning your life with that. Then you can get into flow very easily. You can get into flow without that, but I would caution against that because it will wear you out and hurt you.
mm,
So if you're aligned with that, with your unique abilities and passion, then you can drop into flow very easily. And then the
mm,
top state of this is group flow. So individual flow is amazing, and I and Travis, our mental fitness coach, and many other in my tribe can teach you how to get into flow, and it's incredible. Group flow is even more incredible. So whenever somebody wins a major sporting event, or is an entertainer that you're just in awe of, or a group of entertainers, if it's an individual, it's individual flow. If it's a group, like Chicago Bulls of the 90s,
sure.
that's group flow. And there's always a leader that causes and orchestrates that group flow. And many times they're invisible. Like I couldn't tell you who was the leader of the Chicago Bulls, but there was one, or that wouldn't have happened.
Mm,
And so they're usually invisible. and group flow is beautiful. So as we wrote that book, we weren't there. A few of us were there on individual and maybe a group or two here, but now it's compounded in L&H to where it's showing up in our core 15 leadership, in our teams where we understand it. So now we can curate it better, but it's incredibly powerful. And when you get individual flow, you're exponentially more productive, and group flow exponentially more productive. So your competitors can't even figure out what you're doing or how you're doing it. You're just walking away from them. But that's not why you do it. You do it because it's a wonderful state and it's beautiful,
Sure.
and you love being in flow.
Yeah, and you and I have come across Stephen Kotler's work.
Yes.
He's a co-author with Peter Diamandis. Of course, I'll see you at the Abundance event here in March.
Yeah.
How many years have you gone to Abundance?
I just looked. This will be my 9th year.
Wow, 9th year. This will be my 3rd year. I mean, there'll be robots walking around, and it's amazing. But
Yes.
I just had an epiphany, Mike. That, I mean, you're probably like, duh, Carrie, you're my publisher. It's good you finally caught this, but you are in your first book, which is right next to you on the wall. I love that, the orange book. Yeah. That's human energy.
Yes. Yes.
And your new book, Innovate Energy, is nuclear energy.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that for the person wondering, like, how does this guy write know thyself, love thyself? That's really what he's talking about. And I remember you saying with that order, we want that book to come out first.
Yeah.
And that book was, yes, meant for the world, but it was also meant for your team.
Yes. Yeah, we were practicing. So I decided I wanted to write a book, and I needed to capture this. And one of our fellow friends at Free Zone, strategic coach, told me, well, write it down because that makes you commit to the idea, right?
That's good.
And he was right. So I wanted to practice it. I wanted to write it down. I didn't have any idea people beyond L&H would love it, but I wanted to go through the process, and I wanted to see how it worked so I could write the book for my work. But it was a personal passion and the right thing to do to release it. It is becoming incredibly popular.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, what I remember, even when we were talking about the subtitle, we think of threes, everybody. That's a good strategy, by the way, if you're an author, or even in how to position marketing benefits. But it's optimizing performance, cultivating healthy relationships, creating your own heaven on earth. I mean, you tell me the person on the planet who says, oh, I want unhealthy relationships. I want hell on earth, and I want horrible performance. I mean, like that's the complete opposite of what you want. So let me ask you a question. I know it's no organization's perfect, but do you think you're closer there than on April 8th, 2024, when the book came out?
Way closer. Now I would take a stab and say I've maybe 10x'd, maybe 10 times closer to it. And interestingly enough, Carrie, personally and professionally, so my wife and I work on heaven on earth for our relationship and our family, and that's incredibly powerful. But it's also incredibly powerful at your business because I like work, and we spend a lot of time at work, and so we might enjoy it, right? And be around people we enjoy, and even go as far as to love. And then heaven on earth, that kind of freaks people out a little bit, but you're exactly right. You're either choosing or working towards building your heaven on earth or your hell on earth. A lot of people build their hell on earth because they think they're supposed to. It's supposed to be terrible. I would guarantee you it doesn't need to be. If that's a choice, I have no judgment over it, right? I know a lot of people that choose that. I just want to make sure that my tribe knows it's a choice that you make every day you get up. And it's also a choice of who you surround yourself with.
That's right.
And when you're the owner of the company or you're a leader in a company, you choose every day who you're going to attract and retain and who you're going to repel. And you choose wisely because you are who you hang out with.
Well, even the whole Gallup poll, which year after year, the numbers are roughly 55% are not engaged. So more than 1 out of 2 people in the average company are just, eh. And then I believe it's something like, uh, the remainder are either, I think 17 are actively engaged, and then the
Mhm.
others are actually actively disengaged, meaning they're trying to take down the company.
Yes,
So if you add those people, the people trying to sabotage the whole company and the people who could care less, you're less than 3 out of 10
yeah,
that are engaged. And so I know your company, I know your sons, I've met your team, some of them. I would say you're well on your way to actively engaged.
I agree. I got an incredible team, and they just get more incredible every year because they choose to, and we keep surrounding ourselves with better
Yeah.
people. So, to the line of, the personal, I think the personal energy is really important, and that's what the
Mm.
first book is about. There's a little bit of that in Innovate Energy because I thought it was important to touch on it. But the new book is about energy for national security. And this is incredibly important for national security that we double our energy in America. And we haven't done it since the 70s. So it's a big lift. We've never done it quicker than a 20-year time span ever in the entirety
Mm.
of our energy. And we need the challenge to the USA and its allies is to double the energy in North America in the next 10 years, twice as fast as we've ever done it in the past.
Wow.
And I'm focused on that's going to take leadership. So, what you and I were talking about is leadership, getting people in flow, getting the right tribe. So, this is much about that. This starts with a leader saying, I'll do that. And it's really serious stuff. This is work. We need to make things, we need to fix things, we need to upgrade things, we need to make good decisions. And it's not going to happen without great leadership. And
Mm.
this leadership that comes out in Innovate Energy is focused on my wheelhouse, my customers. It's focused on mining, heavy industrial, mineral processing, and national security. So, and that's why I like microreactors because
Mhm.
deploy them to a mine or a mineral processing wherever in the world it is. And this will be in a spot where they don't have a co-op to give them power.
Mm.
They're remote. They're in a difficult spot where nobody wants to service them. In comes microreactors that we drop in. And the other company that I started because of this matter of national security is called Evercore Energy. And that one is made. We'll build the parts for the companies that are creating reactors. So we're building parts for them right now. We'll do that,
Mhm.
support them. We'll support building the supply chain up because L&H Industrial knows how to do that. So we will reteach the country in North America how to do that and our allies as we bring things back from China.
Mm.
And and we'll set it up to where we can accomplish that again. And we'll do a good job of it. And then Evercore will buy those reactors that somebody else has designed and manufactured, and we'll own them, and we'll lease them to our mining customers, our mineral processing customers to run these big machines,
Mm.
or even space, right? So we're putting a reactor on the moon in 2028, which is really.
Wow.
I hope I have some parts on that reactor. That would be amazing.
That is cool.
Yeah,
So let's talk about the cost because you've mentioned how important it is.
yeah.
What's the cost of us not stepping up at this point in time?
So Russia and China are ahead of us in the microreactor space and the SMR space. So China's build, and there's a graph in the book about see how China has increased their power. It's incredible. They're on a hockey stick increase in power over the last 20, 30 years. We're flat since the 70s. And that
And is it regulation? Is that the problem?
part of it's regulation. Part of it's, they might be cooking their books a little bit, but not that much. And they just wanted to. They needed to, right? We didn't need to. The lights always came on. The power's cheap. what do we need it for? Let's just put some more energy conservative things in. Well, what we need it for now is chip plants, because we had part of doing that. We had offshored everything to China, which I'm a global guy. If it's an ally and they believe in freedom, absolutely work with them, barter back and forth. China, the Communist Party, is not, they don't think the same way. And we have outsourced everything to them because they would do it cheap. And we fell into their trap, which is now, well, we got you, and we will take over as the world power now. So now it's like, oh, whoops, we shouldn't have went that far. So now we need to pull back for a matter of national security to be able to build our own things. And in order to do that, starting with chips, we all saw the chip plants come in and come back, right? Because we didn't want all of these AI and all of this tech being over there. So we spent billions on chip plants. Well, one of those chip plants take as much energy as an entire state. So that started it. So
wow.
Run these chip plants, and now AI came in. Same thing. We need these data centers that take as much. One data center takes as much energy as an entire state. So in order to keep up with this global race to be the dominant in tech, in AI, and in chips, we need to put a lot of energy back in. And then to put on top of that we need to reshore manufacturing. We need to be able to build ships. We need to be able to fix ships. We need to be able to build mining companies. We need to be able to do mineral processing. All of that starts with energy. If you can't energize it, none of that happens. So if you look at how they talk about data centers now, or even chip plants, they start talking about it as an energy, how much energy they use, because that's it. The energy turns it into a part. Without the energy, you don't even start the game.
Gee, yeah. So we lose the next 5 years. We lose.
Not an option. If you don't get on with this and keep every energy that we have online and grow all of them, and grow nuclear in that, which is a very interesting one to grow because of its energy density, we lose the position of being the world's power. And that might be fine with some people. It is not fine if you're losing it to somebody that has a completely different culture than you, that does not believe in freedoms. We take our freedoms for granted. Move to China for a year or two. See how you like working there with no freedoms and a completely different social structure. You will hate it. It will be awful. So you don't want to be underneath their rule of the world. You want. So what we need to do, and what they are doing now, what we are doing as a government, is we're combining with the other free countries in the world and saying, okay, we've got to stop letting China build everything for free, and we've got to bring this stuff back. That's a matter of national security. And in order to do that, we have to have energy that's reliable, and it also needs to be safe, which is also in clean. And it needs to be high quality, meaning when you turn the switch on, it goes, and it's not burning up your electronics or your machines because it's fluctuating power. And guess what? It needs to be competitive. And I go into a lot of this competitive in the book, because the consumer pays for everything. Now, they've been told that, don't worry about it. We're going to stick it to the rich people. We're going to stick it to the companies. We're going to stick it to the government. That is not true. That is if you know economics, that is not how it works. Consumers pay for everything. So if you double or triple the price of energy, the consumers, which are your middle class, always by design, it's always the middle class that is your 80% of your consumption. If they can't afford for those power energy increases, the whole thing collapses. So you need to keep in mind that competitiveness matters. And we're working on power plants that were built 40 to 60 years ago. Think of a house that was built 40 to 60 years ago. It was, 20, 30 grand. And now that same house is 500,000, right? The same things in power plants. They were that much back then. So the lease payment or the rent payment on that house that's 40 to 60 years old would be a few $100s. On the new one, it's going to be $4,000 or $5,000.
Wow.
Energy is the same way, and it just is. So hang on, it's going to go up, but we also need to try to keep it competitive.
You're basically saying we can do more with less if it's the right energy source.
Yeah, price matters. So don't do silly things that don't add value to the consumer, which is the middle class. Don't do silly things that add costs and don't add value, because just the things that add costs that you can't get away from, the steel, the labor to put it together, all these things that you have to pay for are expensive enough. So don't do dumb, politically motivated things that add costs and don't add value. That all needs to be cut out, because the consumers are paying it, and they can't avoid paying it because the government just takes their money and passes on. Businesses by design have to make a profit. So whatever cost you apply to them gets passed on to the consumer. And then you can say, well, we're going to stick it to the rich people. Well, rich people are mostly invested in businesses. Therefore, they're immune. Their consumption is a very small percentage of their income. Most of it's invested. So that again comes back to costing the consumer. If you charge them more, they'll just mark it up and pass it on.
So folks, if you feel like, I don't care about this, it's 16 bucks. Why should I read this? It's going to take a couple hours. I'll tell you what, you will care when you get your electric bill. I mean, that's what I see. I see on social media, Mike, that a lot of people don't care about this stuff until they get their bill, and then they're suddenly very interested. So I feel like if we could almost have this groundswell of the average American read this book, I think they'll be much more able to handle this conversation, navigate it. What do you think?
I think that the first thing they're going to see is blackouts and brownouts, rolling brownouts. So the first thing you're going to see is we're out of energy, right? And so you're going to see the grid, the largest machine in the world is the USA grid. And it is old and it is not put together properly. So it's fragile. So we're fragile on the amount of energy. We're fragile on the system that's delivering the energy. And
so power outage is what's going to get the attention.
Power outage. So imagine if you lose power for an hour, you lose your mind. But what if you lose it for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? And we've seen some of this, and you're going to start seeing this around the world as we tax these systems. So the power outage is what's going to freak people out. And then we have to address this in a way. It can't just be, well, just dump money at it.
Band-aid. Yeah, you can't band-aid it. Yeah.
Because the consumers can't afford that. So we have to do it thoughtfully, and we have to do it quickly. And that takes great leadership, right? Great leadership you trust. We have to find the great leaders you trust and put it through this and make it happen.
Folks, get a copy, share it with someone around you, get the conversations going. We had a power outage for 4 hours, in winter, not too long ago here in Columbus, Ohio. And like you said, everyone was pulling their hair out, even me, and I don't have any.
It's serious.
Yeah. It is. It is. Mike, it's a joy to work with you. Congrats on the second book. One of our team members lives near you and says that your company is known in the community as generous, giving back, caring for young people, little leagues, you name it. So thanks for all that you are doing.
Thank you, Kerry. Thanks for, and I'll give all that credit to my people, because we support our people in whatever things they want to support. I've got amazing people that do all of this. And thank you for you and your amazing team to help me put these. I couldn't do these without you, Kerry. That's why I introduced you to Cole that wants to do a book. And if anybody wants to write a book, Kerry's your man. He's amazing.
Well, and like you, I have an amazing team. In fact, a bunch of them are watching right now. So just want to give them a shout out. But thanks so much. And I'm glad that Strategic Coach connected us.
Yes.
I know you got a lot of fans over there, and Dan Sullivan had you on the main stage to speak. So everyone's loving what you're doing, Mike. Keep it up.
Thank you, Kerry. Appreciate it. Have a great day.